Hello and welcome to this month's edition of the Flintshire Market Update. We're August 2026 and we're going to be comparing how the business is doing and how the industry across Flintshire is doing so far this month and also compare it to last month. So today you have the pleasure of myself and my fellow personal agent, Laura. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you.
So here we are in August, halfway through already. The year is absolutely passing us by in the blink of an eye. So Laura, let's have a little discussion about how things have gone throughout August so far.
So I feel that, the market has slightly dipped. Level of activities, definitely, you can see that there's a difference, can't you? The amount of market appraisals that we've been called out on, I would say that's gone a bit quieter. Viewings even, I think, they're down quite a bit. But, naturally at this time of year, I feel that it's going to happen because people are on holiday and so on, aren't they? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
In terms of viewings, we're definitely down. But the great thing is those people viewing properties, they're buying.
Yeah.
So, that's actually not a bad thing because we're doing less viewings and yet, we're getting those properties sold.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad thing whatsoever. But you're right, there's definitely been a drop in terms of properties coming onto the market or certainly MAs as well.
Yeah.
So, and of course, the elephant in the room is we're August, we're school holidays, everybody's switched off and everybody's on the jet plane going to somewhere nice.
Yeah.
And
it's all right for some, isn't it?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But of course, this year, unlike most years, we've got this wonderful, fantastic weather. And that has really, I feel, had an impact on decision-making, on how people or when people are going to decide to put their properties on the market. It's gorgeous out there. And I do think people are taking full advantage of that, changing their plans and doing other things and really taking advantage of this fantastic weather.
Yeah. And I feel as if, when you're thinking about decluttering your house or doing a repaint and things like that, when you're looking at 30-degree heat, it's probably not top of your list to do,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
The beer garden and the beach sound more inviting to me anyway, without a doubt. So yeah, definitely there has been a dip and this is quite traditional as well. We see this year in, year out, July, August time, without a doubt there's that dip in terms of people wanting their houses to come onto the market. So it's nothing unusual, nothing to be concerned about. It's just the way generally that the market works at this time of year.
Yeah, and I think for us as agents, there's always an element of like the calm before the storm, because we know that if anything like last year and the year before, we know that September is it normally tends to just naturally get busier, doesn't it? And people are thinking differently and they've got more time and
Definitely. Naturally, we do have that increase in September. The kids are back in school. Holidays have been and gone. And at this point now, there's a real surge to get property on the market and get it sold. People want to be in the property before Christmas, ideally.
They're always thinking that,
Exactly.
Yeah.
The focus has changed. They've enjoyed themselves over the holidays and now it's back to business. Let's get moved. Let's get that bigger house. Let's downsize, whatever the case may be. And the focus is back on getting the property onto the property market.
Yeah.
So without a doubt, we're expecting a surge of people. But I think this year, more so than previous years,
I agree.
because of this great weather, I think... And we were due yet another heat wave.
Yeah, and that came on the news this morning, actually,
Exactly. Yeah. That could be a factor as well. But I really do believe that spike that we see in September time every year is or could be even bigger this year. So I think without a doubt, you and I and Sammy and Keystone and the Flintshire market throughout are really going to be in for a busy time over the next few months.
Totally agree, Lee. Yeah. And I think our fellow agent, Sammy, is away on a cruise at the moment, isn't she? So she's sunning herself before the big It's Flintshire worker.
Well, she's got it right, you see. She's getting the calm before the storm. She's getting the relaxation and, getting that energy levels back up before this surge of activity is about to hit us. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We need to think of that next year without a doubt. So, they call it the autumn bounce effect.
Yeah.
So, generally, as we've already discussed, it gets quiet July, August time, and then boom.
Yeah.
Back out there. So we really are expecting a busy few months ahead.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's just take a step back and let's look at the figures for August. So over to you, Laura.
Yeah, right. Okay. So when we're talking new instructions across Flintshire, last year was 169.
Okay.
So we're now at 151.
Okay,
so it shows there's a difference, doesn't there? But it's not, it's not.
We're slightly down, but not dramatically.
Yeah, okay. And then when we're looking at sales agreed, it was 100. So this is pretty good, actually. Sales agreed 132 last year.
Yeah.
And it's only 131, so one down. It's not bad, is it?
And this is across the whole Flintshire patch, by the way.
Yeah, okay. And then price reductions, 85 last year.
Yeah.
And just 83 this year. So it's not that, but it's quite.
Well, it's a similar story, to be fair.
Yeah.
The only real difference for me is there's been less market appraisals, less properties coming to the market, less new instructions.
Yeah.
And I think that ties in nicely to what we've already discussed. The fantastic weather that we've had has perhaps held people back.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's why we're seeing that slight change. But otherwise, the figures look pretty healthy in comparison to what we did this time last year.
Yeah.
So that gives me real confidence, to be fair.
Yeah. So like if we look back to last year, just for us at Keystone, new instructions then this time last year was 13.
Yep.
So we're now on 11, but it's obviously we haven't finished the month yet, have we?
Yeah, exactly. And again, just to be clear, we're working to this time last year, so the 19th of August, which is what we're working to right now. Obviously, we've still got a week and a bit left in August, so those figures will rise.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And then say if we look at Keystone sales agreed again at this time last year, so we were on 13 then.
Okay.
And we're now currently at 8, but we know we're negotiating on a few, don't we?
Absolutely,
so some haven't been marked yet. So yeah, I think it's not too bad really, is it, when you think of it like that?
As I say, we're on par with last year and that's healthy.
Yeah.
And as we've already discussed, we're really feeling, the vibrations ready for this big surge coming up in September and beyond. So I think you and I and Sammy have got some busy times
We're all geared
ahead.
up, aren't we?
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's all we can do.
So Laura, yes, it's been a little bit quieter, but have there been any reoccurring issues or barriers that people are faced with that perhaps we're having to deal with?
One in particular thing that's sprung straight to mind since you asked, Lee, is I'm constantly seeing this problem where people are coming to me and saying, "Oh, I found the house, my dream house that I want," and you've got it on the market at the moment, so it'll be, can we go on the market now? And obviously we'll say, well, yeah, you can. However, do you realise that this dream might not actually be achievable because you're a little bit late to the game, really? Yeah.
So it's the chicken and egg scenario, which we obviously come across quite a lot. Whether to get your house on the market. You see, what happens is people contact Keystone and Laura, myself and Sammy go out and then we provide them with, a good plan of what they can do to get their property on the market and get it sold. And then they sit on it and they're waiting for their dream property to come available. And then there's this mad dash.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is they need to sell their house quick. And the problem...
The pressure's on you then.
Well, exactly, yeah. But the property they want, let's face it, if it's a nice property, they're not going to be the only people wanting that property. So there's a real race to get theirs on the market and to get it sold.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're very likely to pay, top money for the one they want, and they're more likely to bring their price down or hold their price back. So the price variance from what they're getting for theirs and paying for the one or the new onward is going to be far greater.
Yeah.
They're far better to be in a position to get their house on the market, find their buyer, and that house will come along.
Yeah. So one of the biggest common questions, and I'm sure you get asked this all the time, and naturally I understand that people ask this, but they'll say, okay, Laura, what if I put my house on the market and that's the one that they want is either gone, or they put their house on the market because they haven't seen anything yet and still can't find that onward purchase when they do, but they know they need to move.
Yeah.
So I naturally say, well, that is something that everybody's going to worry about. Of course they are.
And they do.
But an even bigger worry is that you see your dream property and you're not in the position to do anything about it and just watch someone else take it. So there's no right and wrong answer in this, to be fair. Well, and that's the risk you take, isn't it? So,
well, the key thing is you're far better to have your property on the market. Nobody's going to take that away from you, know. And really, a good agent, as in Keystone, our job is to basically ensure that we're not only getting you the best price for your property, but we're getting the right buyer for your property. That's really important.
Yeah, it is.
When we're negotiating and when we're presenting our clients with the offers put forward, we're also taking into consideration and presenting the position of the potential buyer as well.
Yeah.
And it's important because at the end of the day, if they haven't found their onward, we want a buyer who is patient. I've had that with one of mine recently. A couple, we got the house on the market. We sold it within the first weekend of viewings.
Yeah.
Which is great. However, just before we put it on the market, my clients rang me up, white flags waving, stop, with this real concern. It's a special year for them this year. They've got a big anniversary coming up and they've got some great plans to celebrate that anniversary, including going away.
Yeah.
That's where their focus is. And they suddenly realized that they're also selling their property as well. And things are getting heavy because it's sold very quickly.
Right.
So I was able to basically speak to the buyer who thankfully is in a great position and basically has said no pressure whatsoever. We can wait until November, until December. So
what's good that's happened there is that it's all down to the communication, isn't it?
Absolutely.
1,000,000%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. And if you speak to people, and explain the situation 9 times out of 10, people will understand, won't they? As long as you
and if they don't, they're not the right buyer, and it's up to us to make sure we find the right buyer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is part of the job, really, isn't it?
Exactly.
Matchmaking.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. That's why we call you Scylla.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So is there anything that you've come across then recently, Lee? What are your thoughts?
Okay, for me, I've had some real frustrations with first-time buyers. Now, first-time buyers are great, and of course, if you've got your property on the market, generally, if it's in the right price range, a first-time buyer is always very attractive to a seller.
Of course they are, yeah.
It can reduce the chain and make the transaction quicker and less stressful. So first-time buyers are always in a great position. However, a lot of you first-time buyers out there need to just make sure that you're organized before you come into the market, and we can provide you with help and guidance. And there's lots of organizations, lots of support, lots of sites out there that will give you this information. But please ensure before you're viewing properties, before you are actually getting yourself prepared to view properties and put offers forward that you are in the right position.
Yeah.
Because I've had a lot of first-time buyers who haven't got the mortgage in principle set up, haven't got proof of their funds organised, and that's slowing things down. And in fact, I've had a couple of occasions where, in fact, they've lost out on property because they're not quite prepared.
Yeah.
So That's my advice to you first-time buyers, and feel free to give Keystone a call. We can help you get a mortgage in principle organised. We can help you and advise you with regards to what you need when you're entering the market. It can be quite a concerning and quite a scary place to be, but there's people like myself, Laura and Sammy, that are more than happy to help and advise you before you get to that position.
Yeah, because it's something, it's like a milestone in life, isn't it? And you when you're buying your first property, it's like, it's quite scary, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It truly is.
If you don't know what you're doing, I notice when I'm negotiating actually with first time buyers, and I'll say I need this, and it's like they don't know, but it's all about us guiding them, isn't it? And it's important, isn't it? So,
without a doubt.
Yeah.
And that's that. Laura's right. Having a good agent to support you, to give you the understanding. And there's a lot of words out there that you and I don't even understand. And that makes things even more confusing, Bringing solicitors into the equation here as well. Yes, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to understand. So the more time that you plow into equipping yourself, giving yourself the knowledge, you're putting yourself in the best place. And like I say, there's great organizations, great estate agents who are more than happy to help and support you to get ready for when you get your foot on that first run of the ladder.
Yeah.
So Laura, let's wrap up this edition of the Flintshire Market Update. Things are very much on par and very similar to last year, although we are slightly down with new instructions across the Flintshire region itself. As we've already discussed, we're waiting for that autumn bounce.
So just a reminder, if anybody needs any advice as a first-time buyer, or you're thinking of putting the house on the market, then please do give Keystone a call, as we'd be happy to guide you and help you. So from Lee and myself, thanks for watching, and see you soon.